Good morning. It is Monday, June 14th, 2021, and this is your gaming morning show, Morning Gaming News. It's E3. We're about halfway through the E3s. And
Does
in
this
trying to
ever
figure
end?
out what was that?
Does it ever end? It's been going on for like 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days down, 2 more days to go.
Hold
and
on.
in
Wait.
yeah,
So it's 4 days,
yep,
but it's called E3. Why isn't it E4?
because there's 3 E's, but 4 days.
Is it a long E? Is that the problem?
It's an E3.
Is it a
Okay.
spherical E3 show?
um it's spherical, so actually if it's spherical it'd probably go like 7 days.
It's spherical, lyrical. I was gonna
Uh-oh.
bust into like a really
Uh-oh.
strong rap, but
Everyone run.
Antibacterial.
hey, Sean, what's the news?
I don't know.
Oh,
In an attempt to figure out how to cover like the millions of things that have been talked about and announced, I decided that we're going to just do a quick kind of snapshot of the biggest conferences over the last 3 days. And so I picked the three worth talking about. The ones we're not talking about, I did want to call out because there were some good things in there, especially from the Guerrilla Collective and Wholesome Directs, which started off Saturday morning. Those are both fantastic and announced so many indie games. If you're into indie games, you go watch those and you're set. You know what you're doing for the next like 12 months.
and congratulations to Soft Not Week, Spirit Swap, which is Kim Chica's company, for being included in that Wholesome Direct.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of really good stuff. The low points, of course. Low point was, of course, Gearbox's showcase, which was terrible. Don't go watch that one.
Wow,
It was real bad.
Call
It
'em
was
out.
it was just real bad. I don't think they had anything. They walked around their the Borderlands movie set for literally half of their showcase, just walking around talking to people.
That
It was
would be
weird.
fun.
It was bizarre. Anyways, but we started off the big shows with Ubisoft Saturday morning, and they announced a bunch of stuff. Some of it we knew about but hadn't seen. Some of it was brand new to us. First thing they showed off that was super rad was Rainbow Six Extraction, which we knew it was coming, but we didn't know much about it. And then we got some good look at what the game's about. And basically, it is Rainbow Six. It's even all the same operators from Rainbow Six Siege, but instead of being a player versus player kind of squad-based game, it's up to 3-player co-op experience where you're fighting weird tar monsters. And it definitely has Left 4 Dead vibes, where you're working together to kill zombie-like things. They also talked about Rocksmith Plus, so if you want to learn how to play guitar and prefer to do it in video game form, that apparently is getting even better. Riders Republic, which is kind of an open world extreme sports game. It looks cool. I'm hesitant, but it looks cool. We saw some new things about Far Cry 6 and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. In particular, they're going to continue to support Valhalla into its second year, which tells us that a new Assassin's Creed game is most likely not coming out this year, which is good. I think the Assassin's Creed games do the best when they kind of go on a 2-year development cycle rather than the 1-year development cycle. And then we got our first look at Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which I'll get back to in a second, and Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, because they've been making an Avatar game for 10 years, so I guess we finally get to see it. But the Mario plus Rabbids announcement coming in Ubisoft's press conference is, I think, a good sign that we're going to get some cool stuff in Nintendo's conference. Because if this is a game that we didn't even know about going into E3, if they're going to push that into Ubisoft, then hopefully Nintendo has some good stuff. Because if this was the game that no one knew about that they were going to announce, Nintendo would have wanted it in their conference. So I'm hopeful for Tuesday morning and Nintendo. And then moving to yesterday, of course, the big one yesterday was the Xbox / Bethesda press conference, which was fantastic. They showed off And these are someone else's numbers. I didn't confirm them, but 30 games, and of those 30 games, 27 of them are coming to Game Pass, and a lot of them coming on like day one, which is super rad. The highlight for me was what they led off with, which is Starfield, and that's set to come out in November of 2022. It's a sci-fi RPG, first teased in 2018, and it's a single-player game that will feature space travel. It just, the style of it looks super, super cool. It is a Bethesda game, and it will be an Xbox and PC exclusive.
But they promised that. I'm just kidding. No.
So yeah, that looks super cool. And the fact that it's on Game Pass was also announced, which is just crazy. Crazy the things you can get on Game Pass. And then they showed off a whole bunch of games. Highlights for me, the makers of what's Just Cause announced a new IP called Contraband. The trailer was very like vibey and not any specific, so we don't really know what the game is like, but it has been described as a co-op smuggler's paradise set in the world of 1970s. So the style looked cool for sure, so we'll keep an eye on that.
All my life for smuggler's paradise.
We have Pirates of the Caribbean coming to Sea of Thieves, which is cool. That game continues to get more cool stuff. Battlefield 2042, the trailer they showed looks super amazing. But one thing that was pointed out when we were watching it is like, so it's this massive war zone, no pun intended, where you can host up to 128 players, and it's just this huge battlefield. And
Oh god.
it looks super cool. Like there's vehicles all over the place. It's just chaos. There's a like big tornado at one point. It's throwing things off and like making vehicles crash and all kinds of stuff. And all I can think is there's no way this is going to actually work because it looks gorgeous, but you know on day one it's going to be glitchy all over the place. The tornado is going to throw people like through the ground into like nothingness. And
It's a Call of Duty.
yeah, I can't imagine it working. And they lost me for sure at it won't feature a campaign because the mechanics of this game look amazing, and I'd love to play them in a less glitchy campaign. But it looks cool at least, and if it actually plays the way it looks, it's definitely gonna be worth checking out.
So what you're saying is it's going to be hard for them to get all their gears of war together and work simultaneously, right?
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm just really curious how the whole tornado thing works, because I mean, how do you control tornadoes in warfare? I mean, that's
With a
pretty-
lasso.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's the
gotcha.
lasso.
Just use
I
There's a
thought
tornado.
grenade.
They just like asked,
There's a
like, hey,
grenade
can
that
you-
just spawns a tornado.
Can you tornado here? And they're like, all right, that's fine.
Sounds about right.
Hades is coming to Xbox. They showed off some more Halo Infinite, which is, progressing as expected. And then they announced Shredders, which
Super Shredder.
it's a Ninja Turtle game, but it is a pretty cool looking snowboard game. And then they had a trailer for Atomic Heart, which is this super weird looking game. And the stream I was watching, like live reacts to, they were like, this trailer even makes Kojima go, "What are you doing? What is this game about?" And that's saying something. So a lot of cool stuff coming from Xbox and Bethesda, to the point where when they were showing things off and showing all these things that come to Game Pass, and especially Starfield, I was like, oh, am I gonna get an Xbox in the next year and a half or so?
I have an Xbox One. If you need that.
Oh, that's not gonna play the
It's our
next gen
joint
games.
custody Xbox One.
And then the last conference we're going to talk about, because there was a brief showcase showing off Back for Blood, which was super brief. I wasn't expecting it to be long, but it was like 10 minutes. They were like in and out. They're like, hey, Back for Blood's cool. And then they were done. And then there were about like 20 hours of PC gaming and future games showcases, which were just a bunch of really cool, like smaller titles that are coming to PC. But we also saw Square Enix. And Square Enix spent some time talking about their plans for the next couple years. We saw some new stuff coming for Marvel's Avengers. And I tweeted out when this was happening that they've added so much to Marvel's Avengers. I want to know if anyone's played it, um, especially if they've played it recently, and if it's better than it was at launch, because a lot of people hated it at launch.
So yeah, I'll see how it looks too, because you mentioned that on Twitter yesterday, and that kind of caught my attention. Was the whole Avengers thing, and seeing if that has the same kind of
because it had issues at launch, but they've put a lot of work into it. So I'm interested to see people's thoughts now. We also got some updated looks at Life is Strange True Colors, which all of the Life is Strange games look super fun, and the style of them is always a lot of fun. They also announced a remastered collection for Life is Strange, so that's worth checking out. And then oh yeah, I can't forget Final Fantasy. They had a trailer for Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. And if you like things like, oh, I hate chaos, I need to destroy the chaos is evil, you'll love this game. He's real mad at chaos.
Okay.
He's so angry. You should watch the trailer. He's so mad, and most of his anger is at chaos.
Not a big fan of chaos. Wouldn't like
I
this
don't
show,
know
though.
why.
Chaos is cute.
But highlight of the Square Enix presentation was the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a new game, and it looks so good. It looks so freaking good, and it's gonna come out in October 26th, which is my dad's birthday. So I think I'm gonna buy that for my dad's birthday. Happy birthday, Dad!
That's awesome.
Yeah, that game looks super cool. You should definitely check out that trailer if you're a Marvel fan and you're a fan of good games, because it looks super cool. And other than that, I can't find anything that's out today or like this week, but that's because all of the people that write the things that tell me what's out today are so busy right now writing things for E3. So like the lists because there's lists that they post like at the beginning of the year that kind of runs down the whole year that are very not complete, doesn't have anything today, but also like the more current ones are like they're just not there. So I'm assuming nothing's out today.
That'll be your niche. While we're all at E3, you can be the one who like continues to contact everybody about like, are you putting anything out today? Are you putting anything out today? That'll be Sean's niche.
I'll do all the non E3 stuff.
The Black Panther trailer looks pretty unbelievable too.
Yeah, and I believe that was part of the Marvel's Avengers stuff. And like I said, everything they show off for that game looks super cool, but I put that entire game and all of its updates out of my mind because it was so panned at launch.
Okay, so hear me out, okay? Imagine just for a second that you're a video game developer and you take the time to not make a crappy game and just throw it out there and just develop it so it comes out really good. Because from everything I've heard about the Marvel's Avengers, it's going the No Man's Sky path. Or when it came out, it was so broken and people are like, this is the worst thing I've ever played.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, everyone I've seen that plays No Man's Sky is like, this game is incredible.
Yeah.
Imagine that at launch, and imagine the same for Avengers, because Avengers was so broken and awful. I mean, the way people talk about it, you think it was Call of Duty, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Because that thing's a piece of crap.
And getting that from a situation like No Man's Sky, that still shouldn't happen, but at least is kind of understandable because it was a relatively small team. This was their biggest project by far, and yeah, they had these plans, but they knew they weren't going to be like they knew it wasn't going to be what it is today at launch, but it got hyped up that way, and for whatever reason, the media got a hold of it or the publisher got a hold of it, and they basically started making all these promises of the game that we have now. And the developers are like, it's not going to look like that. like slow your roll. It's not gonna be that for a long time. We got a lot of work to do. But that's a small team.
No.
This is a major
What are you
major
talking about? This
development.
up and
A
comer
Marvel game shouldn't have that same life cycle where it's just like
Someday
practically
they'll be-
broken.
It's fine.
That's just not good.
Someday they'll figure it out.
Someday.
Down says, still waiting for them to finish Cyberpunk. 6:40.